my glass is always full. My glasses is always rosy, whatever. Like, so I don't view life like in a negative way. So if it was any bumps or bruises that I dealt with probably in my childhood or whatever, it didn't stick with me. You know, it quickly went away. I get over stuff super fast. You know, so it doesn't bother me. You know, too much.
I had an aunt who told me. I have an aunt who told me. She said when bad things happen, like period. I just chalk it up and keep it moving.
You have to.
Wow.
You get stuck.
But a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't chalk it up and keep it moving. So the people who have that ability, more power to you.
Because you get I guess because I work with mental health, you know, patients. You know, you get stuck there, and that it becomes dark, and you can't get out of that. It's hard to get yourself up once you're down and depressed or something or somebody has taken that away from you, or you allow somebody or something to take that away from you. So even though like dealing with mental health and the patients and everything, it hurts, you know, because you're dealing with other people's problems and it's kind of stressful to you. You know it's dark. You know it's dark. It's dark. So and it's like I don't ever want to be there.
Got it.
Praise the Lord. I don't ever want to be there, you know, because it's hard to get from up. It's hard to get up there. So I'd rather stay up.
Got you.
I'd rather stay up.
Did you get everything you wanted? Because it was just you.
Well, my mom never played that with me. So my grandma did. You know, she would give me anything that I asked her.
Is she your mom's mother or your dad's?
No, that's my dad's mom.
Your dad's mom. Give her a shout out. What was her name?
Gretchen Waples.
Gretchen. Shout out to Miss Gretchen.
Yes, a Waples Funeral Home. Yeah, she passed away.
Okay.
Yeah,
condolences. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, that was my girl. She lived a good life. 97 years old when she died.
So wait, your last name is Waples.
Waples, yes.
And the Waples Funeral Home is your family's?
Yeah, that's my grandmom and my father and my grandfather.
Interesting.
I never met him though, but yeah, he was. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
Condolences.
Yeah.
And they are out of Camden, right?
They are out of. It was Camden, New Jersey, on Kane Avenue. It was one in Burlington, and I think they had one before I was born, if I'm not mistaken, in Gloucester or Salem.
Okay.
I can't remember, but I know it was a couple of them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned your parents. Did you grow up with both of them?
No, my dad, and my mother, they didn't get married, you know, or they were together to have me, but they weren't together. My mom did get married. I had a stepfather. How old? Probably six until maybe 9th grade or so. Okay. But that was the 2-parent household.
So there was never a point that you could recall where you lived with both your mom and your dad?
Oh, never.
Never. Okay.
My dad was a mess. He was doing his thing.
Got it. So you lived with your mom?
Yes.
How often did you see your dad? Were you
sometime when I went over my grandma's house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He would come, but he lived in Atlantic City.
Okay.
And like I said, he was.
So you never went like specifically to stay with him for the weekend or something like that?
No, my mom didn't allow me to.
Okay. Got it. Now that you're older, excuse me, do you think that played a role in the men you dealt with or the men that you allowed to spend your time with, or just a decision that you made in life that you weren't with your dad like daily?
I felt like I got a variety of each and every characteristic that my father had in himself. Like who he was is who I got in relationships. My father, you know, he was a heroin addict for a couple years, so I felt I got at him. You know, he was a cheater. I got cheaters. You know,
right.
But other than that, like, you know, I felt like I've had all that, you know, in my life. But he was so super cool. Like, I loved the relationship that me and my father had after the age of 18, because I was able to understand him better. Okay. You know, than I did in my teenage years.
Did you resent him at all in your teenage years?
No.
Okay.
No, because my mom didn't play. So I'm not into all that, but I feel like, you know, it was like a yin and a yang thing. So my mom, she was very strict. She wouldn't allow me to go to the parties. I had to work, you know, I paid for everything that I worked for, like my car insurance. I had to buy my own car, like I had to save up to that. Like my mom, she did not like, here you go, Yara. You know, she created me to be very independent.
Okay.
You know, which was cool. Then, you know, it was my grandma, you know, she would give me, you know, whatever she wanted. And then my father, he had to pay child support, and this is why I won't like put my son's father on child support, because my father would tell me like, oh, and I was like, Dad, you know, can I get some sneakers or something like that? And he's like, no, you know, I paid your mom, you know, you got child support, right? You know, and I was like, yeah. So I was like, he was like, well, you know, that you ain't getting nothing from me. Go ask your mom. So I was like, oh, okay, I get it. You know, and then from then I was like, you know, child support was a thing for me, or it wasn't. Matter of fact, it wasn't a thing for me, because I felt like, you know, no child should have to go through that, one, and two, a system shouldn't have to dictate how a man should raise their child.
Agreed.
Period.
Agreed.
So but I never resent him. I was able to understand him at 18 years old, and our relationship grew and grew. Like, and when he passed away, I was like, you know, how am I going to have that balance again? Because my mom, she's a certain way, my father's a certain way, you know, and I felt like I needed that balance, and you know, I was able to overcome it after he passed away and everything like that. But
what was his name?
Artie Waples.
Artie Waples.
Arthur Waples Jr.
Okay, Arthur. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Again, condolences. Sorry.
Yeah.
How old were you when he passed?
How old was I? I guess 30. In my 30s.
Okay.
Maybe 35 or so.
So from 18 to that point, you got a good 15, 16, 17 years in him.
Yes.
Okay.
He moved because he got himself together. You know, he moved to Arizona, and I would visit him every year.
Really?
Yes, every year in Arizona.
He lived in Phoenix?
He lived in Phoenix, Arizona. And I would visit him every year. And then, you know, one year my grandma started to get dementia, and then she got Alzheimer's. Then he took my grandma. You know, he took my grandma in Arizona, and that was like, that crushed me. You know, it probably still crushes me to this day. But you know, because I was helped. You know, I was helped great. I was in college. You know, and you know, that was hard. That was hard when he felt like that he needed to care for her, and he took her to Arizona. But I still went to go visit the both of them. Okay. In Arizona, and he was like, "There's nothing in New Jersey for me." I was like, "What about me?" And he's like, "I'm not coming back." And then when he passed away, you know, we had to cremate him. Not really me. We cremated him. And I laughed because I had to bring him back on a plane with me, you know, in a box. Right. And I say, you back with me now, and you come to New Jersey, you know. You ain't got nothing to say, you know, but, you know.
Right. Ultimately, you became a parent, right? You've mentioned that. You know how your parents raised you or didn't raise you because you were there. What would you say are some similarities and differences between your parents' parenting style and your parenting style?
Well, I'm not as strict on Coy, my son, as my mom was.
Shout out to Coy. Yes. How old is Coy? Coy
is 14.
14, okay. You're not as strict. 14. Example.
He's able to, you know, not talk back, but have a voice. You know, even though I say, you know, shut up, whatever. Right. He'd be like, no, you know, I need to speak. So or can I speak? You know, and I'll be like, oh, go ahead. Okay. And just not strict. Maybe I may be strict with like food or something like that. Where though my mom, you know, she wasn't. But my mom, she wasn't. You know, I couldn't stay everywhere. I had to come in at a certain time before the lights went off. You know, street lights. You know, Coy, he doesn't go out too much, but when he does go out, he stays night at his friend's house. You know, my mom used to be like, you know, your room ain't clean, you're going out, or you know, this and that. And I'm different. You know, if his room ain't clean, all right, his room ain't clean, but you better do it when you come back. Right. Something like that. So okay. I'm not as strict like but I want to be, but that's just not my personality.
Got it. Got it. So that's a difference.
Yeah.
What's the similarity?
Let me see.
You probably have some inherent similarities that you don't even notice.
Probably not.
Don't think so?
My mom be like you're just, because I'm just such a free spirit, you know.
Right.
And she's more of a nurturer, you know. My mom is.
Okay.
Than I am, you know. I love my son,
right.
You know, but she's you know, I'm protective. I am that. I'm definitely protective.
Okay.
Over my son, and my mom is the same way, you know. But she's more nurturing, you know, as a parent.
Okay.
Than I am.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Growing up in the city, a lot of people never. I don't know. I felt like a lot of women never, that I knew of, that I grew up with, didn't really date too many men or boys that were
their own age. I appreciate you saying that, because we said it all the time. The prettiest girls in the hood, the baddest girls in the neighborhood, they don't. We didn't get them. We got the girls who were left over, right? That's what we always say. The girls who was left over, because the drug dealers, the older guys, the guys with cars, got all the pretty girls on the block, and that was just the way we grew up. Mm-hmm. It was very rare that a gorgeous woman like yourself was dealing with a guy her own age. That's rare.
Yeah.
Like a 15-year-old girl is with a 15-year-old guy.
And I lied about my age too, you know. It was so funny. My mom, you know, he had brought.
So how old did he think you was?
I was 14, and I told him that I was 15. So I was turning an age, and he had brought like Happy Sweet 16, and my mom was like Happy Sweet. He had brought a cake to my house, but I was at work, or I don't know where I was, and my mom was like, Sweet 16.
Why does this boy think you 16?
She's like, my daughter is 15 years old.
Wait, so how much older was he than you?
5 years. I think 4 to 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was, I was 15, like 19, maybe 4 years. Maybe about 4 years older than me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you could see the difference. Was there, now, from your perspective, was there a difference in a guy his age versus a guy that was your age?
I don't know, because I never dated anybody else. I mean,
well, forget dealing with him, like you was around boys, like just the way he acted. Was he more mature than the 14-year-old kid or a 15-year-old boy?
I don't remember. I think everybody. I felt like everybody that I was cool with in high school was probably doing the same thing that he was doing. They were just in school,
right?
You know, so
got it.
I didn't really see a difference, and they all knew. You know, knew him and everything. So
you were with him for at least 4 years.
Yeah, 4 to 5. Yeah.
Was it a good relationship?
Yeah. He was very respectful.
Okay.
You know, my mom don't like a lot of people, but she loved him.
Your mom liked him. Okay.
Yeah, he was very respectful, very protective.
Jealous?
He didn't play that. Put it like that. Okay. Nobody else. But I wasn't out there like that.
Right.
To be, you know, I respected my relationship, you know, even at a young age. So, you know, I wasn't out there like that for him to feel any type of way about anything. But yeah, he was cool. He was very, like I said, very respectful, you know, and
ultimately what happened in the end?
Communication issues. You know, at a young age, you don't know how to communicate. Like when I went away to Cheyney for my first year, he never told me, you know, okay, well, you know, I'm hurt that you're going away. You are like one of the only people that I can, you know, talk to, or, you know, not that he needed protection from me, but just a comfort from whatever, you know, he was going through, you know, in his life. And when we got older, we discussed it. And I was like, Dad, you know, I never knew that, you know, and I probably would have just went to Rowan, maybe.
Right.
But even though he helped me move into college, you know, it still was and he changed, and I couldn't get him back. I couldn't bring him back to, you know.
And that happens in a lot of relationships where you chasing the person you met
I couldn't bring him back to where he was before I went to college.
Okay.
So like he never cheated, nothing like that. Then, when I went to college, it changed, but I didn't know it changed because I had left.
Yeah, you were in this whole new world. What do you feel? When do you feel your childhood ended? Because the government says, right? The government says that when you turn 18, childhood is over, you're an adult. But you and I know that 18-year-olds are basically kids. They're still kids.
I think the way that my mom raised me,
right,
to be independent and to be able to, provide for myself, because I was doing that, not in high school so much, but like I had to pay for my own insurance in high school.
Who did you have, by the way? Do you remember?
I want to say Liberty Mutual.
That was my first ever insurance, Liberty Mutual.
$120 a month. That was a lot.
Right.
But yeah, she didn't. So I felt like she prepared me, as an adult, in my teenage years. So I don't know when I became one. Probably when I bought my first house at 23 or something. I don't know.
Okay. So you do the freshman year at Cheyney.
And then I went to Rowan.
So how did that happen? Did you want to transfer financially?
I wanted to train. And first of all, I told my mom I was taking a break from high school, and I took a break, and it wasn't a long break, but I took a break, and then I went to Rowan. Rowan was weird at that time that I went, because they would say like, "Where's all the minorities?" When I went there,
right.
it had spray paint on the wall. Niggas go home. Like, and it's so different there now.
Really?
Yeah.
So let's skip Rowan for a second. We're going to get to Rowan. You had so much fun at Cheyney and you liked it.
Yeah.
And then you told your mom you needed a break.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a reason? Like, why'd you want a break? Or were you trying to get back to your boyfriend? Like, relationship issues? Was the work you said was kind of easy? Well, not easy, but you did what you were supposed to do.
Let me take my
break.
Were
you partying too hard?
No. So my break, I got a lawsuit for like $3,000 or something like that.
Okay.
So my break was only like 2 months. And that 2 or 3 months or something like that, I was just smoking weed.
See, now we getting into it.
It was so stupid.
Did that start in high school or college?
Oh, it started in high school.
It started in high school. Okay.
I was cutting school and smoking weed, 17, and then like it continued, up until probably like 25 or something like that.
Oh, so in college y'all was getting busy.
Yeah, well, I can't remember smoking weed in college.
That's what happens.
I can't remember. And that's why I can't remember. Maybe I was. Right. But yes, I took a break.
Okay.
But then I went back to school because I was really responsible, for my age. Like I knew what I needed to do.
Right.
And I always felt like, everybody, including myself, have one name. You either gonna make your name or you're gonna break your name. And
exactly.
I always put myself on, not a pedestal per se, but like I felt like I needed to have a certain image, in every aspect of my life. Even if I was, smoking weed or whatever, it was like in private or something like that, or whatever, but I always needed to obtain my name and have a certain image, So.
Interesting. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, and this is my favorite question to ask people, with 1 being the worst ever and 10 being the best possible, how would you personally rate your childhood and why?
I'll say like a 9.5.
A 9.5?
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't really have any issues, growing up. Maybe little things here and there, but not much. I enjoyed, and I'm maybe because I'm not that type of person. Like, my glass is always rose, my glass is always full, my glasses is always rosy, whatever. Like, so I don't view life like, in a negative way. So if it was any bumps or bruises that I dealt with probably in my childhood or whatever, it didn't stick with me. It quickly went away. I get over stuff super fast.
Do you feel like growing up in the hood in the inner city that eventually you get desensitized to people like dying on you? Like, do you get used to it? or is it like always tough depending on who the person is for you?
No, it's I don't think. Okay, let me just go back because it's a Waples funeral home thing, you know. So I wasn't raised to view death as like death. They always taught me, like my grandma always taught me, is two things in life, you know, that's going to happen. Somebody's going to be born, somebody's going to die. And even like me growing up and seeing them, like they're friends, you know, they're my grandma's partner at the time, you know, he passed away. And they didn't cry. And I said, why don't y'all cry? And they were like, what are we crying for? They like, Yara, you know, imagine us crying at every single person that come through this funeral home. Like, we would be so super down. Like, yeah, we would be so super down. You know, we had to be there for the family. We had to be that strength, you know. So I got that from them, you know, and probably playing in the funeral home.
Right, you grew up around death, right?
Just like, you know, just seeing them every time I go to the funeral home, somebody in the casket, you know, or they never let me in the back because at the time they would you know, do everything in the back. I don't know if they do it in the hospital now, but I haven't been in the funeral home in a long time. But I was raised there, you know, so I seen it all the time. So it was just like, okay.
So first of all, you're a mother.
I'm a mother.
You are a professional.
Yes.
You're an entrepreneur.
Yes.
And you have your own company now.
Yes.
So what is this company?
This company is called Juice Capital.
So you have a company called Juice Capital.
Yes.
And what services does it provide?
We do juice plans. Like
juice plans.
Yeah. We do juice plans.
Like 100% fruit juice?
Fruit, vegetables, with either mint or ginger. You know, nothing is added in. You know, we juice everything. So the juice plans, they help with losing weight, they help with diabetes, they help with like high blood pressure, they help with IBS, they help with irritable bowel syndrome. The same thing. They help with erectile dysfunction.
Really?
You know, everything.
Where is Juice Capital?
Juice Capital is in Blackwood, New Jersey, on Blackwood Clemson Road, across the street from McDonald's, Starbucks.
What's the address?
1031 Little Gloucester Road.
Now, what if you're watching this and you're not from New Jersey? How would they be able to get some of your juices?
We can, well, first of all, my cousin is running a business. It was called Juice Capital and Jersey Fit in Atlanta.
Okay.
So, Malaysia or myself will go down and we juice.
So you've already expanded?
Yeah, but it's the same process if it was when I first started. So, home base, whatever. So, you know, you get the juices, you know, you call her up, and she sells the juices down there.
Right.
Make it, we freeze it, you know. But if you're not in Atlanta,
yeah. What if you're in like Louisville, Kentucky?
Louisville, Kentucky, we do a flat rate of $40. You know, you do your juice plan. We send it in the mail, and you get it between 3 to 4 days. It's frozen. When we juice it, we freeze it, we send it. I never had any issues of it going bad, sour, or anything like that. So that's how they can get it. Or they can do the overnight, which is way more expensive, and a lot of people decide to take or we deliver. I've delivered to New York. You know, people don't mind paying the $150 delivery fee to New York, as long as everybody in New York their friends is chipping in to get it. So they split that. They split the delivery fee, and I bring all the juices up there. So
now, how many different flavors do you have?
Oh my God! You know, so like I said, I wrote a book. Right now, we working with 12, but we do have.
So it's 12 flavors right now. It's
12 flavors.
And you wrote a book called what?
So You Think You Can Juice.
Okay.
So I actually have over 150 recipes because when I was in the kitchen.
Oh wow! Yeah, experimenting.
When I was in the kitchen, I was experimenting. So I have a lot of different juices, and I know which one does what, and so does everybody that work here too. They do. I went against the norm because the norm is like, oh, you know, in the juice books it say like, oh, juices last for 3 days. No, they don't. You know, and different flavors and different fruits last for certain things. So I was like, you know, I'm going to test this theory. That's my thing. Like, you know, like, okay, so if this book is saying, like, you know, I'm going to test this theory. I'm going to be in the house. I'm going to put this juice in here for 7 days or 8 days or 9 days and see if it lasts. Right. It lasts. So now I know, like, oh, they like some people, oh, you know, it says 3 days. I'm like,
because that's the marketing ploy to get you to buy more. Right.
That's what it say.
Right.
And most people don't test what people say. You know, and you know, I'm raised Christian, so in the Bible, you know, you show, you test, you see that everything is proven. I'm like I'm messing up the whole Bible verse, but you test it. You test it. You just don't go along with somebody. You don't go along with this pastor saying. You go home and you read that book yourself and see what the pastor's saying, if it's right or wrong. You know, so that's what I did. You know, with my juicing company, like, you know, just because this book says, this author says that it lasts 3 days, and this is all juices that last 3 days. No, they don't. Yeah, so my juices, they last 7 days. Some of them last longer. Right. But I cap it at that. Okay. You know, so.
How long has it been up and running?
Ooh, we've been in the store since the end of August. Like I said, of 2021. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you
coming up on the 1 year anniversary?
Yeah.
You doing something big?
I don't know how to think about it, but I should. I like the part. But no, yeah. We was in the house. We was in the house, and the only reason why I left the house is because I had a neighbor who was complaining about my juicer making too much noise. Right. And it wasn't like me and Malaysia. We created a soundproof barrier in the house. Okay. You know, where the ones where they had the microphones and they sing or whatever. We built it. Okay. We built it in the table. So but the lady, you know, she was complaining anyway. So I was like, let me go on Facebook Marketplace. I went on Facebook Marketplace, saw a place that was for rent that I could afford. Okay. You know, and we went with it.
Congratulations. Yeah. Congratulations.
And no grants, no loans, saving. Thank God for the pandemic, for real. Because I didn't go nowhere.
A lot of people came up in the pandemic.
Because we wasn't going nowhere. We weren't buying nothing.
There's silver linings in every natural disaster, every tragedy, It
definitely is.
But great. All right, so give some advice to blank-year-old Yara, blank-year-old Kashana. If you could talk to a younger Kashana right now, she was standing in the room staring at you, and you could say one thing to her, what would you say to young Kashana, and how old would she be?
Maybe 20.
All right, 20-year-old Kashana. 20-year-old Yara, what would you say to her?
Choose somebody that loves you more.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I had a chance in my 20s, and I chose wrong. So I felt like that was the topic of my life, like, you know, choosing wrong, relationship wise. Okay. Yeah. And I mean, it doesn't and that's not the end all be all. You know, I probably wouldn't be where I am today, you know, if I was, you know, in a relationship. You know, I've seen my girlfriend, she was 18, 19, okay, in no relationship. She saved $10,000 in one summer. Like, you know, it's just work. Relationship is work. I don't know. I mean, you can be successful in a relationship. You can be successful without a relationship. You know, but I think that's what I would have told myself.
Kashana, we appreciate you being here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay.